Well, now let's analyze it.
Come on.
What does my teacher want of me? My teacher wants what he calls a refined representation of the Word of God. What does my teacher want of me? What does my Father expect of me? He says that he wants the message of God given to the people of God in a way that will elevate the people of God and bring them up from the condition that they are in and bring them up from the filth of the white man's world and the white man's way. And so this tribe, I must say to all of you, you must not attempt to judge me. It's easy to judge if you're not the one taking the test.
Yes, sir.
Some of you know you would get an F. You know you would get an F. You would have flunked a long time ago. The devil blew me up all over the world. He took a calculated risk that I would get the big head and turn against my Father. But even I believe when my Father was spanking me before the world, CNN and all the networks, satellite all over the world, I believe in his heart and in his mind, somewhere in his mind, he was saying, Khallid won't turn on me. Khallid is not going to defect. Khallid is not going to turn, I repeat, on me. And he was right. The love that I have for Louis Farrakhan is not subject to change. If it hasn't changed in all this time, it's not subject to change. If the tests and the trials and the tribulations that I have already undergone haven't destroyed it, it's not going to be destroyed. And I believe that it is not only enduring, but it is eternal and everlasting. In a few moments, as you think over these words of mine, in a few moments I will, as we do in the African village, ask your opinion and your feelings and your input and your wisdom and your counsel. And of course I will weigh it all, but I will take it to the God in prayer. And as I meditate, I will meditate on my thoughts, but I will also meditate on yours. To me, one of the worst things in the world is to be what is called in the scripture a Judas. A Judas in the New Testament, a Khallid in the Old Testament, or to be what is called in Islam a hypocrite. One of the worst names that you could be called by, a hypocrite. To say one thing one day and then be another way the next day. I believe I was born to give the white man hell. And I believe I will die giving the white man hell, and I'm not subject to change at all. I will be consistent straight down the line. What is my crime? Being hard on the enemy, hard on the oppressor. In some parts of the world, they're killing the white man.
That's right.
You've got some revolutionaries, like the revolutionary there, where they're supposedly working on some peace agreement, peace accord. Revolutionaries strap themselves with high explosives, put high explosives in vehicles and ride off into the middle of the Jews, the white imposter Jews, and blow up as much of the town as they can blow up. That's a dedicated warrior. That's a dedicated soldier. That's a soldier that believes that he was born to kill the enemy. I only spoke words against the white man. I want to kill the white man. And you, some of you are upset with me over the words. Well, you didn't have to say it that way. They were calling for my leader's death outside of the building. I needed a posse to go out and beat their behinds and drive them into the sidewalk in the night that I was speaking there. Not just speak some words from the rostrum. At the crossroads. Why do I say at the crossroads? At the crossroads in terms of whether I will leave the Nation of Islam, that's not a decision for me. I don't have to make that decision. I will remain in the Nation of Islam as long as I am permitted to stay in the Nation of Islam. At the crossroads in terms of what it is I'm to do. Try to understand what I really did. I haven't figured that out yet. Then another group with the void there, disunity, we are taught, invites murder. And when there's a void, when there's a vacuum, the enemy will always step in.
That's right.
And so the enemy steps in and attempts to take my life. All of this mixed up into the same scenario.
Yes, sir.
Why? Because I stand boldly against the enemy. Boldly against the white man. There are things about me as I move toward the conclusion that will not change. I believe with all of my heart that the white man is the devil.
Yes, sir.
I believe he's the devil, and I live my life every day knowing that he is the devil, and I live my life every day like he is the devil. And I don't fool myself.
Be yourself.
About him being the devil.
Be yourself.
To lock Brother Yahweh Ben Yahweh up, a man who has done divine work in the midst of our people.
Right,
a criminal locking up one of the righteous of God. The crackers in the courtroom are not righteous devils. How you gonna be a devil and be righteous? The two don't go together.
No, they don't.
Criminals run the courtroom. The judge is a criminal.
Right.
The prosecutor is a criminal. The bailiff is a criminal. The damn turnkey at the jail is a criminal. The warden is a criminal. All of them are criminals. It's a criminal justice system.
Yes, it is.
No right to charge, no right to judge Yahweh Ben Yahweh. No right whatsoever, brother. And we stand firmly with you and stand firmly with Yahweh Ben Yahweh.
Yes, sir. I
in the liberation struggle for our people. I believe this with all of my heart, and no matter what I do, I will always believe that the white man is the devil, and I will always teach that the white man is the devil. And I will always teach it strong, and I will always teach it hard everywhere I go.
Be yourself.
I believe in separation.
Check.
I'm not ashamed to say that. Some of you from the 60s who believed in separation and a nation of our own have turned into apologists for the white man now. Now you tiptoe on the subject. Now you're afraid to let everybody know or anybody know that you want freedom and independence. I don't want to be accepted by the white man. I don't want to serve in his Senate or in his Congress.
Make it plain.
Be a member of his congressional black caucus.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to be in the caucus. Not caucus, carcass. With a bunch of dead Negroes begging the white man. I don't want to be a caucus. I don't want to marry his woman and be seen with Susie Run with her to prove to everybody that I've changed. I've been to Mecca 7 times. And I have never come back. And you can never expect me to come back. And I ain't writing no postcards telling you, here I am in Mecca. And it's a sight to behold. Here I am sleeping on the same mat, eating from the same bowl, drinking from the same cup, with men whose skin is the whitest of white, whose hair is the blondest of blonde, whose eyes are the bluest of blue. This proves that integration can work the way Malcolm did when he went to Mecca. I've been all of those times, and every time I went to Mecca, I came back with the conclusion that there's more racism in Mecca than most places where it ain't even supposed to. Where most places where it's supposed to be, there's more there than in those places. Racism so thick in Mecca, you can cut it with a knife. Racist imposter Arabs, sissies, switching all over the place, feeling on each other, kissing on each other. In the name of God.
That's right.
Got ghettos in Mecca. Black people on the streets down in the sand, in the dirt, begging, and arrogant white imposter Arabs throwing bread up in the air and letting it hit the dirt, and black people scurrying in the dirt to eat off the ground when these no good bastards got oil, stealing and raping the land, which is our land. That's what I said. It ain't got nothing to do with no faggot sitting over there named Hussein over in Jordan trying to make a peace accord with another cracker named, what's his name, Rabin or some other cracker over there, or another hook-nosed cracker named Bill Clinton going over to work out some peace agreement. The issue is not between the Arab and the Jew. The real land question has never been raised before. The real land question is between us and them. The land belonged to us before it belonged to either one of the bastards that's arguing over the land today. And it's our oil money that they're spending on a daily and consistent basis.
That's right.
I'm going to say it.
Right, that's
I'm going to say it.
Thank you.
Well, you might lose your life. I was born to die. Ain't nobody in here that was not born to die. Hey, ain't nobody in here gonna get off the planet alive. As Dr. Khallid would say, rescue me if I'm wrong. Nobody in here gonna get off the planet alive. All of us must die. You can't be afraid to die. And you talking revolution all the time. I'm a warrior. I'm a soldier. You spending all your time trying to stay alive.
Yep.
If I do this, I might get killed. If I go around there Khalid, I might get shot. People running from me now that I never knew would run from me. That's why many people are not here tonight.
Yes, sir.
Hell, they scared if you go down there, hell, they might start shooting in there. They ain't through with that nigga yet. I don't want to be in there.
That's what they say.
Say now the FOI done pulled back from him. I don't know what's going on. I ain't going down there. Even my good friend Ice Cube backed up on it. Supposed to be hard. These Negroes be faking in these videos and movies, playing like they hard. Gangster rap. Niggas a punk. Ice Cube is melting on me. We're supposed to do an album together called The Goddamn White Man. I don't know. Oh, Q. Don't melt on me now, Q. And he just did the thing with Scarface. Talking about something about put the gat in your mouth until I make you vomit. I'm down with Khalid Abdul Muhammad. Where is he? I call him, he don't answer my call. He ducked me. Running scared. But he's a gangster rapper. All these nasty mouth Negroes. Hard on black people. Snoop Doggy Dogg. I'm gonna look for Snoop and see if Snoop is hard as he say he is. Dr. Dre. I'm looking for all the hard gangster rappers. I'm going to look for T. Now T ain't been running from me. The night before I was the assassination attempt, T was right there with me in Los Angeles on the stage. So was Wesley Snipes. Good. Right there with me. But the rest of these niggas playing in movies. You the hardest one around in the movie. Looking hard, always got a play gun with no bullets in it. Acting like you're gonna shoot somebody. But in all the movies, you're killing black.
That's right.
We'll even make a movie where we're killing the cracker.
That's true.
Scared to make a movie like that. People running scared, running from it, backing up from it. But brothers and sisters, as the old folks say, as the MZ or the elders say in the church, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine.
Sir.
Let it shine, let it shine.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to wait until my change comes. As the old folks say, I'm going to tarry a while. Ain't going nowhere. If you come in these audiences spying on me, incognito and incognito, to see if I'm going to say something that you can go back and tell them that Khalid Muhammad is still as strong as he was before, and his stand and his position with Farrakhan is the same, and you couldn't even pick up a word of negative that you could take back. Now run and tell that. Brothers and sisters, again, I said in the African tradition, when there are problems in many of the villages, we discuss the problems. And our family goes over the problem. And I've had two good experiences this week, one at the Slave Theater in Brooklyn and one at the Victoria Theater in Harlem, where the elders and even the youth stood up, and after listening to my heart and listening to me, again, they gave me their counsel, their wisdom, and their advice. We even had Professor Smalls out the other night in Harlem, who gave us the benefit of his wisdom and years after having been the imam over the Muslim Mosque Incorporated that was started by Malcolm, and the Organization of African American Unity, the OAAU, the executive director of the OAAU that was started by Malcolm. So we heard from everybody. And then Professor Smalls put the capstone on after the evening's close. My big sister is in the audience, Dr. Patricia Sekhmet Newton. Who wrote me a very warm, loving letter of wisdom, counsel, and advice. We will talk about it. And I've thought over it much. So now, just for a short while, before we leave this evening, I want to hear from some of you so that I can get some wisdom and counsel from you. If you have comments and you're in this section, form a line here. If you have comments and you're in this section, form a line there, and you'll be able to come up and use the mic. Any in this section before we get started? We have two in this section, one in this section. We got to hear from some elders. We got to hear from some sisters too. Got to have that feminine energy in this whole thing.
Say good evening. I'm Brother Khallid, Brother Daryl Green from Project Team. You know, as I look over the entire situation, everybody in this audience know that it's called divide and conquer. It's called divide and conquer. If you don't know, it's called divide and conquer. As long as you're on this side of the street and everybody else is on this side of the street, a white man is always going to win. I mean, today when I came in, I'm wondering, well, where's the brothers at? I mean, why they're not searching everybody to come in here? And then folks got searched, but I'm saying, hey, and I need to be on everybody in here. Folks are scared, but I'm saying, whenever you have a young Messiah that's coming and telling the truth, you know, a whole lot of folks are afraid of the truth. A whole lot of folks are afraid of the truth, and I got some friends that's not down here tonight, you know what I'm saying, because they're afraid of what might happen. You know what I'm saying? It's already written. What's going to happen, going to happen. I'm not afraid, brother. I'm with you. And at the same time, keep on telling the truth, brother. Keep on telling the truth.
Thank you, sir. Now, it's all right to tell me off, too. I need to hear
Assalamu alaikum. La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. It's a pleasure being here. I told Brother Anwar, he called me on the barbershop. He called me and say, Dr. Khallid in town. I said, what that nigga slipped in town and ain't tell us about it? So he said, yeah, man, you know, maybe he won't keep it hush-hush, but they put that spotlight on him and took a calculated risk, and he turned it around and didn't work in their benefit. Brother, I'm going to say this to you from the heart. You answered your question in your presentation. You said, I was born to do this. And what better pleasure would it be to die to do this? I know you don't have no fear because I walked that walk. I did 13 years in prison and I cracked a hunker's jaw. And everybody in the joint wouldn't walk to eat with me, wouldn't sit in the dining room with me. They would, you understand? So I'm saying, I've been there, you know, and I've been there. I wasn't in the street where I could hide and had security and all that. They would crack my door late at night, and the word had got around the whole compound with 1,600 brothers that Brother Raheem was bad news. So I know the lonely feeling. I know the paranoia that can sit in. But there's an ayat in the Quran that says that those who take the road that is steep is free. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves those who is committed to Him and to the service of His people. The work got to be done, brother. And if you got to go, you got to understand that Allah is the best plan, and He'll give somebody else the torch to carry on after you, just like He gave you the torch to take on what Malcolm did. Malcolm took it to another degree, you're going to take it to another degree, and you have to find pleasure in the commitment that you're giving your loyalty to Allah, and that what's happening now is His plan, and that you're just a small part of it, and just remain humble and carry on the struggle.
Okay, we got it back. Hebrew.
Shalom, shalom. Giving all praise and honor to the Most High, Supreme Lord of the universe. To my brother, Dr.Khallid, my teacher. I love you, my brother. And this comes from the heart. I love what you did in California with reference to standing up and taking out some soldiers and standing up for that brother who was taken off the telephone pole by the Klan. I never will forget that incident. We need a black military that's on call and ready to make some moves. So I never will forget that moment. And if it be the will of the Most High, you will step back on the campus of Howard University. We had to bogart the whole institution and set the record straight that this man loves black people. And I want y'all to come on down to Howard University. Look out for it in the spring. I'm going to talk to this brother afterwards, and we're going to set it up. We're going to set the record straight at Howard University that we are not cowards down there. We got some hardcore brothers and sisters who are ready to get down with some serious business. Thank you.
Brother say we're going to set the record straight, that we've begun calling it now Coward University. That's exactly what it is, Coward University. My sister?
Assalamu alaikum. Me and this brother go back about 10 or 15 years ago when we used to have the African History Club of Sojourner Douglas College, and he used to come here and do some speaking for us. And I honestly can say that I love this brother as a brother and as a friend. And one of the things that happened maybe about 5 or 10 years ago when they were on Minister Farrakhan, we were at the Kennedy Center and they wouldn't allow the FOI to do any searching. So we had to go in there on faith. And I say this to everyone. This is why we're here tonight. Each one of us should be each other's back. You know, I mean, and we need to commend the brothers and the sisters that are here tonight. But most of all, I want to commend these sisters that are here. Because, we'll stand up. But the one thing that we need to continue to do and realize that this thing ain't going to work unless we work it together. I mean, the women ain't going to do it alone and the men ain't going to do it alone. But the thing of it is that we do have to work together. And one of the things that you said, brother, that I would love to see you go on with, I always believe, and the messenger taught us to always go to the root.
That's right.
So if you need the answers to your questions, and they're not coming from within from you, go to Chicago.
That's right.
Speak to Minister Farrakhan. Let him be the one to say to you where the decision is. I mean it. That's what you have to do, and that's what you must do. And that's what I'm going to look forward to you doing. Thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Brother Khalid, if you say that you're the manifestation of Malcolm 30 years later, you understand that Malcolm said to always deal with the problem, always deal with the origins of the problem. If Minister Louis Farrakhan is your spiritual father, then you should understand that he who controls the diameter of your knowledge will control the circumference of your behavior. If you really want to understand what is going on in the Nation of Islam, what the Minister Louis Farrakhan feels about you and your presentation, then I would suggest, brother, out of love, that you go and talk to the principal. You understand me? Because some of the things that you're saying here may have a negative effect on those that are blind, deaf, and dumb, that don't really understand the essence of the Nation of Islam.
What are some of those things since you raised that point?
Well, you say that, the FOI is not here. And normally no one has to call out the FOI to determine who the FOI is.
Correct.
As a follower of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, I suggest personally that you contact the minister and find out why the FOI is not here, standing perpendicular on the square like you would like them to be. Because there are people here that will misconstrue what you are saying, brother.
One thing that cannot be misconstrued, and that is the FOI is not here, not present, and not on post. You can't misconstrue that. So the point is, I said at the beginning of the lecture, that I have tried phone calls, I've tried everything. Now I'm going to go beyond, I don't know if you were here, I'm going to go beyond phone and pen, and that I am going to Chicago. Now you don't just show up at the palace, but I'm going and camp in Chicago until I get to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. But let me say this, because otherwise what you just said could cast a negative impression over the audience unless it is cleared up. This is my life, not yours. I got shot, damn near killed. You didn't. And I have given all of my adult life to the Nation of Islam. Have been section leader, squad leader, lieutenant, first lieutenant, captain, supreme captain, national spokesman, national assistant, minister, all the way on up and down the line. And that's my family and my brothers and sisters. I shouldn't have given a negative impression. I said that I was hurt over the fact that they were not here with me. I feel that I can set up security. I helped to rebuild the Nation of Islam by Allah's grace when there was no FOI, when there were no soldiers, nowhere. I was standing with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan carrying 2 pistols a day, not for my own life, but if anybody looked cross-eyed at him to blow their goddamn head off of their shoulders. There was no FOI. And we went everywhere together. All over in Israel with the so-called Jews, slept on the same cot together, him on one end, me on the other end, big as that table almost, and me all up during the night watching his back. So that's the way I was then, and that's the way I am today. And as I said in my lecture, that is not subject to change. But what I said is also still 100% correct. I didn't lie. Why do you always want me to apologize for telling the truth? Or tiptoe through the truth?
That's right. Don't be no
The FOI is not here.
That's right.
And I didn't even know the brothers that weren't in uniform. Sister Deborah asked them to stand, and when she asked them to stand, I was surprised at how many brothers stood up with tennis shoes on and caps and stuff. She knew them, I didn't know them. I said, oh, I didn't even know the brothers from I didn't recognize them out of uniform. So, brother, my life is on the line, but I don't believe that Allah intends that I lose my life now.
Yes, sir.
I believe that my life is that He saved it and preserved it for a reason. But I repeat, for some reason, the FOI has not been with me for the past few lectures. And And it is true, I need to go to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and find out. I've been calling. I said I called less than 48 hours ago. But I need to go now, and hopefully going will make more of a difference than my calling has done, inshallah. Why don't you take the mic, sir?
About the transition that you evolved through the process of the Nation of Islam. But let me tell you, beloved, the Nation of Islam didn't begin with you, even though all those positions that you held. It did not begin with you. So you talking about what you did in the Nation of Islam. The Nation of Islam is not about you, beloved. It's not about me. It's about these folks here and these that are coming in unborn seeds in the mother's womb. That's what the nation is about. It's not about our position, because obviously your position and my position has not changed the condition of our people.
That's not true. That's a damn lie. Many people
It has not changed the condition of our people.
Many people have been changed as a result of our work. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Why you got so many that used to be on crime and drugs and they own it no damn more? I'm quick to take it and try to put a spin on it. The point I was making was to express the pain.
Yes, sir.
And the level of my commitment and dedication. And I think that was clear to anybody who wanted it to be clear. Now, if you need a forum just to prove or go back and say that you really stood and defended, well, you got that opportunity here tonight to say whatever you want to say. But what I said, I stand on what I said. It is true, the Nation of Islam began long before me, but it was destroyed. It went down to nothing. And I didn't see you. And it was not popular to walk with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan then. It wasn't popular. There were niggas who wanted to kill him, Arabs who wanted to kill him, Jews who wanted to kill him, and white folks in general who wanted to kill him. At that time, there were no television cameras. There were no newspapers. There were no big auditoriums. None of that existed. I had no money, no fame, no fortune. So I didn't get with him for the bright lights and stand in the glare of the TV cameras. I stood with him with nobody was with him but one or two or few because of my love for him. That's the point I was making. If you missed it. Allah is sufficient for me, my brother, in terms of what you say.
Check.
Brother David, Project Team, I'd just like to say to this brother, Brother Khallid has definitely had an impact on a lot of people. Myself, Brother Durrell, and a lot of other brothers who are here in the city of Baltimore working with young people. We are trying to teach young African American males to be a man, to be able to rise up and not be afraid when you're speaking the truth. You know, average people settle for average things, and now more than ever, we need black men who are willing to rise up for our families. And this brother is a shining example. We'll go out and do programs and let young African American males listen to his message, because he is about total liberation for African people.
All the way.
Thank you, sir. And that does not take anything away from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He made me. He taught me. He shaped me. He represented me. Well, brother, you say that's who you represent. According to the work that the brother just said, by God's grace, that I'm doing in the community, that's who I represent too. Because everywhere I go, when I speak to them, I don't say, come on and follow me. I raise them up by the thousands all over, and I turn them over to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. That's representing him. Yes, anything else is just running off at the jibs, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, my name is Brother Dennis Bradley, and the Nation of Islam did so much for me. I would kill anybody. I would sell dope. I would disrespect a black woman. I would do anything until I heard the word of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan from the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now, I know many brothers and sisters. I mean, I punked out. I didn't care about nothing. Anybody in here that knows me and knew me then, know
know the difference. So nobody can say that the teachings are not helping people. I mean, it's helping people.
That's right, bro.
And the only thing I can't say nothing else but tell you, brother, go to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, yourself, just like you said you would. That's all I have to say. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. I personally would like to thank you for the work that you've done, and I have to say I don't appreciate your comments. That's just personal, though you have the right to say that.
That's right.
Because of the work that you've done, the example you had, and Minister Farrakhan, I would like to be a witness that what I've heard from you is in support of him, and that you simply would like to hear from him exactly what you need to do. The speech that you gave, I personally, with the level of knowledge I have, didn't see anything wrong with it. My military background, that's how we would talk about the enemy. He wasn't running through the streets wearing guns or anything, but I personally didn't see anything with that. But if Minister Farrakhan has a problem with it, I support him, and I hope whatever that he's laid down. You have said that you stand by the punishment, you didn't turn against him, haven't heard anything tonight, and I hope that you continue on in that vein, as I respect that you would, based on what I've seen you do. The example you set for me as far as standing tall has helped me. Just on my personal job, with the most I had to lose is a clerical job. So the bullet you took, and I'm glad that it was at least shot low. And everything else you've done has been an example for me. So I appreciate it, and I hope to see you in the future, and I will continue to support you.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, give all praise to Allah. I'm honored to be before you and standing just to ask this brother a question in context, because I know that I was one of the brothers that I did also 13 years in the penal system, but before I went into the penal system, I was a member of the Nation of Islam as a kid in Baltimore, Maryland, before Minister Farrakhan restood the nation up with the help of soldiers like Dr.Khallid and many, many others. It's a legitimate question that needs to be asked, because I'm saying that what we're fighting for today is not about Dr. Khallid, and as a Muslim, I cannot bring partners, and I can't, the real of the deal is, and he's my leader, teacher, and guide, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, but it's not about him. You understand what I'm saying? It's about Allah, and we must understand that as men, we got to be strong enough to understand that, as we take guidance from our leaders and they direct us to be strong men, and when we take that stand, to stand as a man, we can't be punked down by nobody. You understand what I'm saying? If we see a man standing on principle, you have to look at what a man's standing on, and what you might think to be popular, you have to have some type of substance within inside yourself, man, and side with a man. One of the things we did in the Nation of Islam, we brought the nation back in the penal system in Maryland, where not the brothers from the nation from the outside, none of them could do what a group of men did from within inside, to open up the doors and let the Nation of Islam flourish again inside the penal systems in a strong way. And we fought the crackers, and we had to take a stand, and we took a stand, and I faced going back to prison while I was in prison, getting more time, and we didn't really get the support from the outside like we might thought, because that battle really wasn't with the brothers on the outside. That was our struggle. It was something that we wanted, and we had to do that job. And so as I looked for the outside and tried to cry out, but that wasn't what it was for me to do. I had to be strong as a man and walk that mile myself, and I'm saying that I think the legitimate question that I would like for you to ask when you do have that meeting, because I know that I think it's an insult, a man of your stature, if inside of our house, if we have disagreement, that the world is looking at us. And you are one of my leaders also, if the Minister Louis Farrakhan like my father, then you are like my big brother and stuff, and I'm saying that, again,
we are not trying to divide the house. We are looking for right direction to go, because it's not about us as individuals. We got to teach this to our babies, man. If we can't move off the principles and stuff, we're going to be punked out as when we got to show the strength to go forward when all this shit is in vain. One of the things we have, this is our imam of the community and stuff that we have, Brother Ignace, and he offered you the opportunity to come maybe when you're in Baltimore to give the, what is the Kupa, you know, and
you welcome in, man.
My house too.
And no disrespect to the FOI, because like he said, we was babies in the nation.
That's right.
You understand?
And no, none of these
if
brothers
you come
like
involved,
me,
don't call us, brother. We'll meet you at the airport or wherever we'll stand with you. And not with you.
Thank you, sir. Thank both of you, Brother Imam. Thank you, and thank you also, my brother. On the point, and let me point this. See, this is that part of that is very heavy on my heart. The piece that came out in the Village Voice in New York, that was so dangerous and crazy. But the essence of it pointed to something very serious. That at a time when I spoke at Columbia University, one of the strongholds of the Jews in New York, and when I spoke in Harlem at Harriet Tubman Auditorium during the time of the release of the X movie by Spike Lee, number 7, Mosque number 7 pulled the security off of me in New York. But what you may not know, my brother and others, is on that day, May 29th, when the attempt was made on my life, Mosque number 27 in Los Angeles had pulled the security off of me. And Mosque number 27, the Western Regional Headquarters, did not send anybody to secure me that day at Riverside University. So this is something that you have to know the inner workings of. And it didn't just start tonight with Baltimore and number 6. This has been going on for a long time. In fact, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, I know this for a fact, has called different captains on the carpet and first lieutenants and some ministers for different cities with all of the mess and politics who did not provide security for me over a period of time before any of this even started. So you have to know that history. And when people start shooting at you and trying to kill you because somebody's supposed to be present that ain't present, you see, these brothers from the penitentiary, I've been to federal jail, to the federal penitentiary. I know what it's like to be in the hold and to be stripped buck naked and to have chains on you and shackled and bent over and some freakish white boy look all up in your backside and searching, looking all in your earlobe, under your tongue and stuff. You be in the hole and it's so black until you can't even see the hand, your hand in front of your face. I know what that's like. And in the gangster world, in the penitentiary world, and in the world of the streets, especially starting with the joint, if you're a part of a movement or an organization, and that movement or organization pulled back from you, the Nazis, the skinheads, the Italian mafia, and this one and that one, if they want to move on you, that's their signal that it's now time to move on you because everybody has pulled back from you in your organization. JDL leader Irv Rubin out in Los Angeles, he went all the way to Las Vegas to try to get a meeting with some of the Nation of Islam's officials a few days after the assassination attempt on my life. Brother Steve Copeland pointed out a lot of this. And he was asking the question, his main question was, is Khallid still with y'all? Why do you ask that question? Because if the answer is no, or if they show up at the door or one of their spies from these ADL, and ADL have blacks that come in for them for whatever they give them, the JDL and others, and other government agencies that ain't got nothing to do with that, and others that work behind the scenes in the higher realms of this thing. And if they come and they don't see the FOI,
yes, sir,
they go back and say, they ain't with him. They not there. It's time. He's isolated. It's time to make the move.
yes, sir.
But I'll tell you, if you don't make it tonight, you better hurry. But I'll build a damn army so awesome until if you show your damn head anyway, you won't run down these aisles like you did at the Audubon Auditorium. No, we'll rewrite the history.
That's right.
If you run down these aisles. That's why some of y'all say, well, he might even have guns. No guns. He might have guns. You know, Khallid like guns. He don't believe in Allah. I believe in Allah. I believe that Allah will bless me to shoot straight when it's time to shoot straight. You're not going to isolate me and then come with all kind of 9mm. They found 3 9mm, 2 30-06 with scopes on them. People didn't come to play with me.
Yes, sir.
And I don't intend to play with them.
That's right.
So don't worry about that. I ain't worried about that. I'm dealing with matters of the heart and the family. I ain't dealing with trying to show up the FOI. Hell, the FOI is showing me up. If you isolate me and push me out there like that, then the devil could move to kill me and attempt to lay my body at the door of the Nation of Islam, the way they try to lay Malcolm's body at the door of the Nation of Islam 30 years later, knowing that their dirty, filthy, syphilis, gonorrhea, AIDS, herpes, white hands are responsible for pulling the trigger on Malcolm. But they kill him and then lay his body at the door, metaphorically, of the Nation of Islam. That's what's being set up right now.
Yes, sir.
That's what's being set up. They wrote recently, New York Magazine last week, wrote a piece comparing me with Minister Conrad Muhammad. Say he appeals more to the middle class. And they say, but Khallid appeals to the street element and the gangsters and the gangbangers and the most virulent strand of white haters inside of the movement. Well, that means the killers.
That's right.
I'm not just with the guys who want to die for the cause. I'm with the ones who want to kill for the cause. I don't want to just die. I want to kill in order to live. We're at war.
Yes, sir.
Most will say they want to die, but they're afraid to talk about what is necessary to really live. We got one or two others. We have sister here and sister there.
I would like to know if you are able to meet with the minister, what is your hopes? What would you like the outcome to be? And whatever happened, may the blessing of Allah be with you.
Very good question. Thank you, sister. Very good question. What would I hope? I would hope that much of the dream that I was having night before last would become a reality. You know, I know him like many don't know him, meaning that closeness. And I would hope that the lines of communication would be opened up again between us, where I could pick up the phone almost any time and reach him. And he could reach me even if he didn't pick the phone up, and he still got it like that, as they say. If I just heard a word that he wanted me, if it's 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm on my way. Most don't know that Malcolm tried to get back with the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He almost begged to come back. But the question is whether the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad ever got the letters and ever knew what Malcolm was desiring. Gil Noble played it on Like It Is in New York and gave us the essence of the letters and Malcolm's words to the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad that he was directing to him to get back. What would I hope for? I would hope more now, again, to be close to him and feel the love and the warmth that a son feels from the father or a student from the teacher or a follower from the leader than anything else. I've been everything in the Nation of Islam by God's grace that you could be. Every position in the Nation of Islam, I've had it by God's grace. So apparently, to my brother and others, apparently he saw something in me, or he wouldn't have moved me from one position to the next highest position to the next highest position. So my feeling now is not so much to be reinstated as national assistant or national spokesman or representative or minister as it is to just be able to feel that closeness and love and warmth again that we once had. That would be my greatest hope from that meeting.
Assalamu alaikum, family. Dr. Khallid, my name is Brother Quan. This is Sister Chanel. We're from the Action Now organization. Our organization was formed out of your teaching, your study. You have meant so much to us. Whichever way you go, we're going to stand with you. You know, you only fear what you don't know, and we know we feel like it's all about each one, reach one, so we can teach one. You definitely have reached us, you know. So I'm a little bit nervous right now, but I feel great that I'm talking to my people. We are divided by land, not by color. We divided by titles and labels. We this, we that, but we all black, and we're gonna die black. As long as we sit back and stay divided, they will conquer us. That's right. That's what they're looking for. Our children are running around here dying in the streets because they from CBS and from Lawson Mountain and all these other street names. But we all family. We divided by these titles and labels. That's the only thing that's dividing us right now. If we stand up and be black, we're gonna be all right. We sit down, we're not gonna be all right. We have to start helping one another. Start taking care of our elders. Start taking care of our children. It takes a village to raise one child. When you see a kid that's running around in the streets doing the wrong thing, say something to him. That's right. We have to stand up and get rid of the bull. I would like to turn the mic over to my sister. Peace.
What I really want to say is that if for no other reason, I honestly and strongly believe that you are a special messenger from God. If no one in this room believes it, I believe it. We are at war. You are an instrument in that war. We have many historians with wisdom to teach us, but we only have one historian with the courage, the power, and the knowledge to move us. We can take the wisdom, but we need the energy and the motivation to act on it. I strongly believe that right now you have an up-and-coming generation. You need a young Messiah to be able to move and motivate that generation. We are not a lost generation. It's really time for our historians to pass the torch on. The torch is yours to pass on to us. We're the only thing that's going to save us is us. Our young people need the teachings that you have. If you become silent, you deprive yourself and us of what we need to get us out of the hell that we're in. I pray that you and the minister align yourself again together so that you can feel the burden lift off your heart so you can continue what Allah has put you here for.
I want to thank both of you. And I want to say, you know, I'm not a fool. But I know that it's a very weighty thing when people look up to you and honor you and respect you and have such strong feelings for you. And I don't intend to play the game of leadership with our people. It's